What the fuck is up, man? What's up, men and women? How's everyone doing? It's 103. Well, just turned 104 on the atomic clock. 2 December 2019 start date. Guess it's 2019. But you know what's interesting, man? You know what's interesting about 2019? I'm Monster Grove, host of this podcast, C4CW, casting 495 celebrities worldwide. If you are true fans of the show, then we 495 most certainly appreciate you. And if you're not true fans, then man, just don't even waste your time listening to what you don't like. You know what I mean? But what's interesting about the year 2019, and really any year, is that they're arbitrary numbers. This isn't really 2019, man. It's just what we've agreed upon. Time is non-linear. We don't know what year it is. I mean, look, listen, I'm saying from a scientific standpoint, we have no fucking idea. We just make up shit. Yeah, the Gregorian calendar. Yeah, the Egyptian calendar. What was it, the Julian calendar? Am I wrong about that? I'm just going from memory, man. I'm not Googn. I'm not Googn right now. Googling. Goog it. Can't do Goog right now. No Googn. Google should change its name to Googn. That would sound more dystopian. You know what I mean? Like time traveler travels to the year 2700 and finds that society is controlled by 3 supercomputers. 1, 2, 3 of them. The largest of the 2, or the largest of the 3, rather, the one that controls the other, there's one that controls 2 of them, and that one is known as Googn. I'm just saying, man. Googn. Google it. Ma'am, this could be 2,700. This could be 4,700. This could be 10 million. The year 10 million. I'm just saying. Like, we don't know. So, we take these numbers that we've all agreed to, and we say, okay, based on some Sumerian mathematics, some Egyptian mathematics, some Greco-Roman mathematics. I mean, look at this. Check this out. You want more proof? If you're a Christian, Google when Jesus was born. Have you ever Googled that? You want to start getting your Googn going? Want to Google it? Googn. The Domain of Googn. The realm of Googn. Googn is just short for Googling. When was Jesus born? Shouldn't we know? I mean, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? I mean, for such a prolific figure, the Son of Man, the Messiah, we should have a concrete date, right? You know, in terms of when Jesus was walking among us. You know, Jesus Christ, God's Son. But we don't. Nope. That's when I started to realize, because my cousin Rizzo has a degree in history from London. And when he earned his degree, during the time that he was in his program, his degree program, we would email each other back and forth. In fact, he asked me to come and study with him in London, because I was also a college university student at the time, and I could have applied to some school there, had I chose to do so, perhaps in the future. But the point is that I asked him. This is when I started to really realize that time isn't, I mean, I always knew, because I study numbers, I'm a numbers guy, so I always knew that there were discrepancies, but it really hit home when I realized that when I discovered the deeper truth about Jesus Christ. And I saw a documentary about Jesus and what these theologians were saying, because my dad has a degree from a Bible school. That's one of his degrees, theological studies. When I was in Chicago, he showed me the information. I mean, I already knew it, but the point is, I saw this documentary on TV, and what these theologians were talking about was no disrespect to Christians, because they themselves are Christians. But you can't tell every Christian this, because it'll blow their mind and they'll become defensive, and it bothers them deeply because the story that they were told, they realize that it's not necessarily true. And what it is kind of like, though Jesus is said to have been a real person, well, some theologians say that he's really, in deeper reality, kind of like Robin Hood. Some people don't think that Robin Hood was real, that, he's a fictional character. And you might be like, duh, Grove, there's no Robin Hood. Like, of course, man, like, who doesn't know that? Well, do you know the following? Robin Hood actually is a real person. Yeah, Robin Hood actually is a real person. But most likely multiple individuals that were grouped into one story is a possibility that some have posited. Some historians believe that there probably was a character, or several of them, similar to Robin Hood, and they got grouped into, like some bandits, and then someone made them one fictional character. Well, the same is true of Jesus Christ. I'm just saying that we say that Jesus walked among us as the Son of Man. But some theologians have uncovered deeper truth reality facts that suggest that there were like maybe a total of 6 different messiahs. Oh yeah. I'm just saying, man, when you look at history, man, and what archaeologists and researchers have found, you come to find some things, man, that show that things that you were told aren't necessarily for real. And for some people, that's earth-shattering. And the truth shall set ye free. It is true, man, and the truth shall set you free. Sometimes it's a disturbing reality. Sometimes it's shocking to find out that everything you were told is a fucking lie. But I got over it a long time ago. And then coupled with what I discovered prior to that was the information about when Jesus was born. That's when I knew something was fishy. When the internet was just kind of starting to kick off a little bit, was getting a little higher speed, because I had a Fujitsu Speedport modem. Speedport modem by Fujitsu. Fujitsu. I don't know how to say that in Japanese. I just know that you don't stress any of the vowels. Fujitsu. You say them all the same. Fujitsu. So, yeah, I had a light gray, Fujitsu in the English lexicon, Fujitsu Speedport modem. And it was around that time that I was conducting some timeline research and research of timelines, overlapping, parallel, multitudinous, thus multiple. And I was reading some different books because I'm an old school researcher. Like, I know how to do it like pro. And so I was visiting different libraries in different cities in different states, and I fucking figured this shit out. There's no concrete date in terms of when Jesus Christ was born. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. They know all this other shit, supposedly. But we don't know when Jesus Christ was fucking born. The Son of Man. Come on, man. There's something really fishy about that. And then, when I found out that the pyramids are a lie, too. Oh, they're real. It's just that the story of 10,000 years ago, after the last ice age, that's bullshit. Pyramids have been around for fucking tens of thousands of years before that. And we know that with laser interferometry, we can use lasers and different X-ray and different passive millimeter wave imaging. We can image the interior of the pyramid to some degree, some extent. And the pyramids are a lie in terms of the timeline and what we were told. They weren't made when you were told that they were made. They predate ancient Egypt. Oh, yes, they do. And there's no way that slaves could have built any of the shit in Egypt that are the megalithic structures. There's no way they could have done it. It was impossible scientifically. They were levitated. Anti-gravity was used. It's the only way you can make those structures. It's physically, scientifically impossible to create any of those structures with any type of earthly tools, stone cutter tools. It's totally, absolutely scientifically impossible. No one could lift any of those different pieces of those structures, parts of those structures. And I've even seen where in Pumapunku, I'm sorry. About to Googn, Access, Googn, Supercomputer, Sycamore, Googn. But yeah, for real, Pumapunku is a trip, man. Because what I learned from Pumapunku, come on, Pumapunku. I had Pumapunku. Pumapunku. By the way, I want for y'all to check out the Barefoot Bandit documentary. The legendary Barefoot Bandit documentary. That documentary, wow. Man, they sent in special ops, military trained soldiers and canine units, dog sniffers, and they couldn't even fucking find that kid. That kid was legit. Look up the documentary titled the Barefoot Bandit, and it's the one that's it starts off and it's partially animated. You'll know immediately because there's animation in the video. But okay, so look, I'm looking at Pumapunku. And by the way, you will not be disappointed. Man, wow. The Barefoot Bandit. Oh my, the legendary Barefoot Bandit. I used to visit Camano Island because I had a relative who lived there. Yeah, that's all true. All right. So right here, Tiwanaku site part of it's part of the Tiwanaku site and cultures Tiwanaku Empire. All right, and it says excavation dates Vranich with the V, Vranich. Now, okay, Wikipedia says, quote, is part of a large temple complex or monument group that is part of the Tiwanaku site near Tiwanaku in western Bolivia. It is believed to date to AD 536 and later. Earth blocks, made of earth blocks. Now, here's the thing about the blocks. They're impossible to make with stone cutter tools that humans have fashioned for themselves. You cannot fucking make this thing. You cannot construct it. I studied some architecture. Like, I've read some books, some principles. I actually, believe it or not, started to apply for certification in certain areas of architecture some years ago. I signed up for this program and I started to take the courses online to get credentialed. My grandfather was a master woodworker, master metalworker, master craftsman who was in World War II. And my cousin Rizzo and I and the rest of our family, we were left with his estate when he passed. And we grew up in the wood shop, the metal shop. And my grandfather had made these very ornate, very beautiful. He had worked on these very beautiful projects. The old rocking horses, man, and he gave one to each and every one of us. Those things are probably worth a fortune in and of themselves. They're probably worth a fortune. But I studied engineering drafting in junior high school, moving forward, as did my cousin Rizzo. Computer-aided drafting and so on and so forth, electronics engineering, and now electrical engineering. So I'm just saying, man, we have a background in blueprinting and looking at schematics. And I know from all of the different technologies that I've viewed in my lifetime, I've done some side stuff with a law firm that specializes in patent submissions. So validation, invalidation of patents. I've seen stuff that's confidential. I've worked at military bases. I've seen stuff that's classified. I've seen all kinds of shit, all kinds of technologies. And I will say to you, I know for a fact there's no way that you could build based on all of the documentary evidence that I have viewed, observed, seen, analyzed, researched over decades, knowing about Puma Punku. The H blocks, the only way to make them is with lasers. It's the only fucking way. They're laser precision. They were cut, made with lasers, and to an absolute vertex, perpendicular, right angle, 90 fucking degree, perfect. And so when you use laser spectrography, when you spectrograph it, when you graph it out, wave graph analysis, however you want to analyze it, whatever type of tools you want to x-ray it, to image it, to view it, laser interferometry it, it's all fucking perfect. And there's no way you can do that back when it was made unless you made it with lasers and machine tools that did not exist on Earth. So next to it, you see some art, you see some artifacts, some relics that are left that are imperfect. So what I know, what that tells me, it's fucking very clear, is that the ancient stone cutters, those who were stone cutters, the aliens showed the humans how to do it. And then the humans tried to do it and couldn't do it. So that's why you see the two next to each other like that. Now, I know that. That's obvious to me, and it made sense as soon as that information was made privy to me. As soon as I saw the documentary, I was like, well, then it's because the humans tried to do the shit that the aliens did. It's fucking so simple. So the math is there, the science is there, and then also when you look at ancient Rome, Greece and Rome, when you look at Rome and you analyze it, the shit that we were told about Rome and Greece is a fucking lie too. Their structures, there's certain aspects of their architecture that were impossible to create. back then with stone cutting tools and other tools that humans had made. So a lot of people don't know that. They think that it's just the pyramids. They think it's just Pumapunku. No, some of the aqueduct system of ancient Greece and Rome, there's a lot of shit there, man, where if you analyze it deeply on a deep forensic level, you'll find that it doesn't add up. It's kind of like someone staged it up. Oh yeah, absolutely. And there were devices that were found in ancient Rome and Greece. There were ancient technologies that were found that were highly sophisticated, like the Antikythera mechanism, for example. The Antikythera mechanism, man, is the world's first known computer. There are probably other devices. There's probably some classified shit that we found that's even more, I don't want to say advanced, but on the same level of the Antikythera mechanism device. Have you seen the computer model of the Antikythera mechanism? Have you seen the computer model that shows how it's pieced together, like flowcharted, blueprinted, schematic to sized? Have you seen that shit? That shit was not built on fucking Earth. It was impossible to have built that device on this planet. You couldn't do it. It's fucking scientifically impossible to do that shit. So how did it get here? Who the fuck built it? And what is it used for? Some people postulate, theorize that it's used to track celestial bodies, planets, planetary motion. How the fuck could you possibly make that on Earth? Oh, that's right. You could not have possibly made that device on Earth back then. So someone or some group in these ancient societies had access to these different types of technologies that were created off-world. Then they lived among humans and they doctored up the background of reality society. They created this shit and pretended as if humans were the ones doing it. I mean, humans were doing part of it, but off-worlders were here behind the scenes guiding humans. It's very fucking clear. And then the other one, if you want even more evidence, there's Pumapunku. There is obviously the Great Pyramid, the pyramids. And then, give me one moment. There is Darren Kuyu. Darren Kuyu. DERINKUYU. Darren Kuyu. Darren Kuyu's one of the coldest motherfucking ancient sites, man. That shit is absolutely fucking alien. It's the same thing as Pumapunku in that the interior design of this underground city base, there's no way that it could have been created by humans. Humans didn't have the technology to make it. So they have these several ton doors that they're as light as a feather. You can push them with a finger, and there's several tons. So once you're on the other side, you can lock these several ton doors that move almost effortlessly. You just like push this several ton locking door system with your fucking finger. That's how light it is, like pushing a piece of fucking paper. And the door that is several tons of fucking granite rock. The shit locks in place and it cannot be opened from the other side. So that's a swivel joint, okay, mechanism there. And that type of technology to this fucking day on Earth cannot be created. I've seen the engineers discuss how that cannot be made to this day. Darren Kuyu cannot be created to this day because humans don't know what technology was used to create that shit. So they believe that Ahura Mazda, we scientists, We believe that Ahura Mazda was some type of ancient alien and that he had fled some planetary system and he came to Earth and there was some type of war in space and he was wanted and he helped humans on this planet create that underground base to hide, to evade whatever entity was tracking him, was after him. That shit is crazy, man. Darren Kuyu, there's no fucking way. No way. And I've seen the structural engineers, civil engineers, mechanical engineers. I've seen the host of engineers from around the world in various documentaries, and they all say it is scientifically impossible for even the U.S. or any foreign military group of scientists to create Darren Kuyu, to replicate Darren Kuyu. We do not have the technology. We do not know what technology was used. And there's the one particular engineer from the one documentary that I saw where he said essentially that the scope, the full scope of the Great Pyramid of Giza, the majesty of it all, the architectural masterfulness of it all, it's not that Darren Kuyu is not only equal in magnitude, if not rivals even the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx. No bullshit. Man, there's secret shit on this planet that's hidden from humans. Darren Kuyu used to be hidden from humans. Imagine the other shit that's here that hasn't been uncovered yet, hasn't been discovered. That's real shit. Let's look up Great Pyramid. Great Pyramid. When do they say that it was, let's see, right here. Great Pyramid of Giza, Wiki. Wikipedia. It says constructed between 2580 and 2560. That's bullshit. I already know it's bullshit. I've seen countless documentaries where that has been proven to be false. They say the fourth dynasty. That's bullshit. They don't fucking know. Whatever number they're giving you, it's arbitrary. They do not know. The Great Pyramid of Giza, this is from Wikipedia. Quote, the Great Pyramid of Giza is the oldest and largest of the three pyramids. See, there are three. And there are actually more that have been discovered via the Mandela effect. That's right. Not just three. There are more now. Don't take my word for it. Mandela effect does weird shit. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the oldest and largest of three pyramids in the Giza Pyramid Complex, bordering present-day Giza in Greater Cairo, Egypt. It is the oldest of the seven wonders of the ancient world and the only one to remain largely intact. All right. So based on what I know, let's look up the Great Wall of India. Let's look up the Great Wall of India. Great Wall of India. Come on, Sycamore Quantum Computer. All right. Historical place. Oh, yeah, I know what it's trying to do. Yeah, I know what it's trying to do. We're not looking for that. We're looking for this one. Yeah, I don't mean the Great Wall of China. I mean the Great Wall of hashtag Mandela Effect India. So apparently this has been around forever, even though it hasn't been. Maybe on this timeline, not on others. So the Great Wall of India, which you probably didn't ever hear anything about in any trivia and any fucking school textbook and any kind of college university textbook, on any game show, any fucking time ever in your whole lifetime, like half the population had never heard of this until hashtag Mandela Effect was revealed. I'm just saying, it says right here, the Great Wall of India, Atlas Obscura. Obscura. Yeah, because apparently there's a Great Wall of India now. Yeah, just like there are more than three pyramids. Yeah, more than three pyramids near the Great Pyramid of Giza. that didn't exist before, but apparently they just popped up out of nowhere one day. So it says here, the Great Wall of India. This is from Atlas Obscura, Slate. Head to Kumbh Blagar, I guess, Kumbh Blagar in Rajasthan. Kumbh, Kumbla. I'm sorry, Kumbal. Oh, Kumbhalgarh. Okay, that meant, I don't know why they do this, man. Just get rid of the H and get rid of the H's, both of them. Kumbhalgarh, all right, in Rajasthan. There you'll find a 15th century hilltop fort surrounded by a 22-mile protective perimeter known as the Great Wall of India. And of course, no one heard of this until fucking just like in the past like couple of years. So let's look up Taured. Where is Taured located? Taured. Did you guys know that the English royalty, British royalty, did you know that there's someone from another dimension that married in with their family? And it's actually on a historic record and it's not fucking made up. It's not contrived. Do you know about the two children who came from some other dimension? They were confused and they came to. And the one child, they had greenish skin. The one did, and that child passed. But the young woman, whose skin color was not as greenish, she survived, and then she married in to the British royal family. Did you know that? Oh yeah, that's fucking real. That's on fucking historic record. But they scrubbed it or tried to sanitize it from history. So we've had people come here from other timelines. What about the man from Taured? Says right here. There's a book about it by Brian W. Alaspa. Let's see. Then there's Hysteria 51. The man from Taured, the traveler, quote, whose country didn't exist. There's Weak and Weird, Man Without a Country, who was the mystery man from Taured. Ancient Origins, quote, the mysterious tale of the man from Taured, evidence for parallel universes. Taured, Principia, where is it located? Taured location. Overlapping parallel universes. All right, let's see. It says right here from a blogger, quote, do you know about the man of Taured? Quote, according to the traveler, Taured was located between France and Spain and would have existed for 1,000 years. Right here. All right. Yeah. Yeah, this is on official record with the government of Japan. And this is no joke. It goes on to say on this blogspot.com right here, quote, the officials told him that Taured didn't exist, but he presented them with his passport issued by the non-existent country of Taured, which also showed visa stamps corroborating his previous business travels to Japan and other countries. It goes on, quote, yet when they called the company, he said he was having a meeting with, they had never heard of him or his company ever before that moment. The hotel he had reserved a room at had no reservation for such a person, and the bank listed on his checkbook appeared not to exist. And it goes on, man. And then, let me see. Where is... So, Spain. Andorra. So, overlapping with our reality, there's another universe. There are other Americas. And there are other Spains, and somewhere there. Yep, right here it says, same blog, quote, there is a parallel Earth that would look like ours with the exception that the site called Andorra here are known as Taured. Wow. Fucking wow. Oh my God. But you know what? You see many instances of that, man. People who walk into storefronts, and it turns into the old times. There's the case of temporarily, and it's not just one person who observes that. There's countless fucking stories, man. There was the the like train platform where the observer stepped off the platform and was walking around, and there's like nothing there. Nothing, like no humans, nothing. Some other dimension, some other landscape, some other time frame. And was temporarily, I think that was an elevator. I think that involved an elevator. There's just so many of these different stories on record. These are actual things that happen to people. These are not made up fucking stories. These are documented by psychologists, governments, experts, analysts who study parapsychology, people who study multiple universes. They're overlaps of our reality, man. They're manifolds. They're space-time manifolds of other Earths. And apparently our copies exist in those other universes. And sometimes those universes overlap with that of ours. And we're able to, well, they do. But what I'm saying is sometimes they're accessible temporarily, is what I meant to say. And, man, as I blog, that is podcast about, there's a story of the observer who was here in New York, would take the same routine walk through the city every day, and one day went around the corner and noticed that there was something that was off, and that person thought that there was some construction going on because he saw these buildings that looked different than he had ever seen before, and he was confused and disoriented, like, what just happened? Like, I always come down the street. These buildings are not the same buildings that I see when I walk down the street every day. Did they just do this? Is this new construction? Like, how could they have done this overnight? And continue to walk and notice that it was all different, man, for miles. He kept walking, and there's no one there. No humans, no animals, no birds. That stuff happens all the time. It's very common. I'll give you another example of anachronisms that are documented. Let's look up this satellite in space, because I've seen from military folks who have gone on record to say that the satellite is it's not just thought to have been in space for some hundreds of years. Says right here, quote, the Black Knight satellite from Wikipedia. Conspiracy theory. I don't know why it's a fucking conspiracy. These people are stupid. CIA created the expression conspiracy theory. That should tell you something about our government. Central Intelligence Agency created the expression, and this is documented. Conspiracy theory comes from Central Intelligence Agency. That's where the fuck it comes from. If you don't know the origin of the expression conspiracy theory, or you didn't, you do now. That's where the fuck it originates. That's where the fuck it comes from. So at any rate, and that's real shit. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. It's not a conspiracy theory that it does. It's a matter of historic fact and record that the Central Intelligence Agency created, first ever coined the expression conspiracy theory. So I don't know why Wikipedia or whoever fucking wrote this says that there's a conspiracy. I don't know why this is an anomaly. It's not a fucking conspiracy per se. People mislabel shit all the time, man. That's why Wikipedia's, man. Anyway, quote, the Black Knight satellite conspiracy theory claims that there is a spacecraft in near polar orbit of the Earth. Well, it is. Because I've heard from people in the military who say that it fucking is. Scam likely, fuck off, scammer. Get a fucking life, bitch. The Black Knight satellite conspiracy theory claims that there is a spacecraft in near polar orbit of the Earth that is of extraterrestrial origin. Well, people from the military say that it is. We didn't fucking build it. And that NASA is engaged in a cover-up regarding its existence and origin. Well, I don't know that NASA's engaged in a cover-up per se. It's there. And I know that there was a mission to tap the satellite because the Black Knight satellite has been interfering with communications on Earth, and it occasionally transmits information to computer systems on Earth and humans. Yeah. So apparently the Black Knight satellite, it does this really weird shit where, people have said, experts have said that we're quantum computers. Like, our brains are quantum computers. And not just quantum computers, but they're faster than any supercomputer on the planet. Humans don't know that, a lot of humans. But apparently, if you look at a physical device like a smartphone, right? Okay, that's a computer, right? And you can interact with Googn. You can, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna title this podcast Googn. Googling, the Domain of Googn. So you, as a human, you can access Google with your personal Star Trek device, right? Because if you don't know, handheld smartphone devices were created by the U.S. military. And the military directive was to create the technology in parallel to Star Trek. That's real. Our U.S. government, naval photonics, and other branches of the U.S. military, or branches of the U.S. government is what I meant. Different factions, different elements, different components in the U.S. military. They said of all the different universes that have been created by these storytellers, by these visionaries, by these people who have been channeling whatever's out there in the multiverse in terms of like what they come up with in their brains, like these ideas of these future worlds, which one do we want to rock with? Which one do we want to go with? And they decided Star Trek. So there's an actual directive to create everything like the world of Star Trek. That's a real directive. You don't have to take my fucking word for it. And please don't. Just Google it, Googn. Yeah. So your handheld device is from Star Trek. That's how it was designed, believe it or not. So you can, with your smartphone, you can access networks such as Google. And Google has for its backbone now several D-Wave computers. A lot of people don't know that. I've talked about this before. Yes, it is absolutely true. Google has integrated into its nexus of computers D-Wave quantum computers. Not a conspiracy theory. It's for real. Google actually uses quantum computers. So when you access the internet, if you didn't know, okay, until now, you are actually accessing D-Wave. But they didn't tell the public that until recently, and it was a low broadcast. It was kind of like hushed up, kind of like a little burst like admission of it. Yeah, Google admitted it. Google uses quantum computers. When you access the internet, you're using D-Wave. And scientists, observers, researchers, analysts are saying that that's why reality is changing. I'm just saying, man, I'm not schizophrenic. Ask half of the human population what they remember. Oh no, it's not confabulation or whatever the fuck these psychologists who are medievals. It's not what they say it is. Half the population remembers something else because something else used to exist. I know what the fuck I remember. There was no C-3PO with the silver leg in any fucking storyline of Star Trek. But now there is a C-3PO with the silver leg. And, you know, I know that look, that is equivalent to saying that Optimus Prime was not red, white, and blue. Optimus Prime was blue, yellow, and green. Okay? That's when you tell me that C-3PO has a silver fucking leg in some part of the Star Wars universe, that's the same as telling me that Optimus Prime, who used to be red, white, and blue, is yellow, blue, and green. And I'm supposed to believe it. Yeah. Because there is no fucking storyline in the universe of Star Wars where there was ever
a C-3PO with the silver leg. Now, I'm not schizophrenic, and half of the world global population remembers exactly what I fucking remember. So how is there a C-3PO with the silver leg? Well, quantum computers. And you know what's even fucking crazier about it? You know what's even kind of darker about it all? The inventors of D-Wave tell you openly that quantum computers, such as the one that they made, D-Wave, changes fundamental reality. They've told the public that that's what happens. The creators of D-Wave have admitted that quantum computers change the fabric of reality and alter timelines. Oh yeah, openly stated that. What? Yeah, so we've pulled into our universe data constructs, fabric of reality from other neighboring parallel timelines. The Great Wall of India, man, I can tell you it never existed before. It just never did. Do you know about the terrorists that attacked America from Germany? The German terrorists who attacked New York? Yeah, they attacked New York, man. German terrorists. Think about it. German terrorists attacked New York and detonated some explosives near the base of the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, German terrorists. Now, when you were in school, when were you ever told? When were you ever told that? When did you ever learn of this history about German terrorists on U.S. soil? When did you ever hear about the attack on American soil by German terrorists? Germans. Well, it's part of history now because it never fucking happened before. If there had been an attack on fucking U.S. soil by German terrorists, that would have been in the history books when you were in junior high school. You would have learned that at some, and given the fact, given the quote, air quotes fact that it happened here in New York at the base of the Statue of Liberty, shit, that would have been one of the little hash marks on the timeline of history that you clearly would have fucking known about. And you would have written a report, an essay on it in your history class. But you never did because it didn't really fucking happen. Not where I come from, not the timeline that I'm fucking from. There's no such goddamn fucking thing. Find one person from my high school graduating class, from my group of peers who I grew up with, elementary school, junior high school and college, find one fucking kid in America who I know, and I know thousands of kids, who ever heard of this terrorist attack here in New York at the base of the Statue of Liberty. It's non-existent, but now it's part of history. Now let me tell you this. My grandmother was in World War II. She was at the NSA just around the time that the National Security Agency was being created. She was in the Army call center. She was at Fort George Meade. My grandmother was a soldier in the U.S. military. I'm just saying, she was in the military during World War II. That makes her a soldier in my book. Yeah, she worked in communications. I understand that. My grandmother did not lie. She was not a person who lies. She's from a little mountainous town, a little town of like 5 families. And they bulldozed the little hilltop community where she lived. I believe our family still owns something there, even though it's a new place. Like we have a property somewhere that's hidden away in the mountains of the Pacific Northwest. And that's real shit. So I'm talking about in the fucking mountains. That's real shit. I've seen photos of it. And what's crazy about it is they told me that I knew this when I was a kid. I only saw the data in the past like 2 years. And I'm like, I never knew this was what the fuck? Now I know where she's from. She's from the mountains. But the property that they showed me that I supposedly visited when I was a kid, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I never visited this place. And they're like, no, we were there. Don't you remember? And I'm like, no, man, stop it. So listen. The Mandela effect is cold. It's cold. So my grandmother, who if you knew her, you would understand, she was like the nicest, she was one of the nicest persons. She used to give away bouquets. She was part of a society where they made professional bouquets. She had so many flowers on her property that she planted and raised. Roses, stuff that would cost so much fucking money if you were to buy it from a florist. My grandmother basically was a florist. And she would go mushroom hunting. I'm talking about mushrooms that you can eat, not hallucinogenic. Don't be fucking stupid. But she used to hunt for like morels and different types of mushrooms in the Pacific Northwest, and then she'd cook them up and she'd eat them with friends, man. And she was part of a society that studied mushrooms. So she studied plant life, man, and she lived a very natural life. She grew her own fruits and vegetables. She had a big English-style garden and raised flower beds, and I helped her with the garden. My grandmother would give away fruits and vegetables to people. And we know someone who has an orchard. So, and he was in my mother's unit in the military, and he's an agricultural scientist. He has a degree. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in agriculture. And he had an orchard, and he would sell cherries and apples to the local markets. So we would have these bins of cherries that would cost you a fortune if you were to buy them in the grocery stores, and apples and plums and all these different fruits. My grandmother never lied about anything. It wasn't in her character. It was uncharacteristic of my grandmother to lie. She's a very humble woman, very simple. You know, she was like a historian. They say in every tribe, in every clan, there's someone who has the knowledge of the tribe. She was the knowledge holder. She knew everything about every family member going back in our lineage. My grandmother, she would crack jokes every once in a while, but they were like jokes of someone who comes from a little small town. Like my grandmother was like almost kind of very childlike, very innocent. You know, she never hurt anyone. She never harmed anyone. She was married to the same man for like almost 60 years. She never remarried. My grandmother was that little old lady that never hurt a soul, never did anything wrong. She never did anything wrong in her life. I think she had one traffic ticket one time ever, and they like dismissed it or something like this. My grandmother told us many times the story about how she went into the torch of the Statue of Liberty. And I clearly remember that when I was a child, that there were tours where you could go into the torch. I read about them. I fucking read this shit. That you could go to the torch. I also remember after 9/11, they restricted it and said that they were no longer allowing travelers, tourists, to enter the torch area of the Statue of Liberty. I read that shit. Flash forward to the Mandela effect. Hashtag other Americas. When our universe intersected with another neighboring universe and all this shit changed and all these data constructs were pulled in from some other universe, multiple other universes, most likely in these intersections. The story now, according to the system, is that no one has been allowed in the torch for hundreds of years. Yeah. Kind of negates my grandmother's story and everything that I read. Yeah, and everything that I knew to be true. So now the official story is that no one's been there in the torch for hundreds of years, which doesn't make any fucking sense because my grandmother was there. And I remember people were able to travel and visit the torch, go into the torch area of the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, but it says that it's been off limits and it's been sealed up for hundreds of years. Oh, it gets even better. So let's go back to the Black Knight satellite. says that so look. So these military folks have been saying that the Dark Knight satellite is somehow able to interact with human brains. It can transmit data to humans on Earth. It can like pinpoint somehow humans as they move about the landscape and transmit information into human minds. Yeah, real shit. And it took us a long time to be able to do it, but we launched a mission to tap the satellite. And apparently with the new technology and the new shit that we have, we were able to successfully dock for the first time ever with the satellite. Yeah. This is from people in the military. I heard this shit. And so now we have a tap on it, and we can see the code that's being transmitted, but apparently we have no idea what it is because it's some type of alien fucking language. Oh yeah. Don't take my word for it, man. We tapped the satellite, and we have a tap on it, and we can see the data, but we don't know what the fuck it is. And we know that it keeps transmitting somehow, some way to various locations on Earth. We don't know why. We don't know what the data mean. And the other thing is, based on structural analysis, the satellite is said to have been in space for over 100,000 fucking years. Not 10,000 years, like over 100,000 years. Yeah, we've been able to analyze the satellite, and we don't even understand what it's made of. We don't know. The different composite materials, we don't know, because it's made from some other periodic table. Yeah, man. When you look at Project Blue Book and you look at the alien crafts that have been recovered, they're made of some type of ceramic material. Some type of like, almost like a plastic, like a ceramic material. It's not metal, it's non-metallic. And it's made from some periodic table that doesn't exist on Earth. So these technologies, like the satellite that is known as the Black Knight satellite, they're made from other technologies that are not from Earth. And we don't know what those materials are. We don't know. And we don't know what language it's broadcasting or what the signal is or what it means. We don't even know what it's doing. So, but we tapped it. And folks at NSA and CIA and DARPA, they can see the transmissions, but they don't know what the fuck it is. Man, that's real shit. Facts.